The things that we're looking for with candidates really depends on their experience. For people right out of school, we're really looking for enthusiasm and people that are eager and want to learn. For people that are more experienced, we're looking for that same willingness to learn, but also ability to communicate and an ability to teach, because really the people that we teach at an early age grow into the best people to work with when they're a little bit more experienced. The way that I would describe the culture of our firm is one about excitement for design, great communication, and really about mentorship. Those are all things that we find are keys not just to doing good work, but also for retention. Teaching people and having a studio that's really about doing great work is, I think, the main thing for keeping people engaged and retaining people throughout their career. For mentorship in our firm, a lot of it is based on the things that I saw successful with my mentors as I was coming up through the profession. I was really lucky that I had a lot of people that had a lot of time and willingness to teach me, and we've tried to preserve that in our own practice. Really having a studio where all the senior leadership is accessible, but also knowing that taking the time to teach somebody makes it a lot easier. If you tell somebody how to do something, you're just going to repeat that same thing over and over. But if you teach them the tools to learn, then they can really grow on their own. The biggest challenge over the last couple of years is going to be similar to what I think everyone else faced with the pandemic. Having a studio environment is so much about collaboration, having people together, sitting around a table, exchanging ideas, sketching, and in the pandemic that was taken away from us. Zoom was just not as conducive to working together and honestly getting to know each other. When you know somebody and trust somebody, it's just a lot easier to exchange ideas. And so we worked really hard throughout the pandemic to keep people engaged, to keep that collaboration going. And now that we're back in person, we've really been able to grow upon that, get back to the things we're good at, but also utilizing those tools that we learned during the pandemic for sharing and communicating with people that aren't in the same room. The thing that we always look for when we're reviewing resumes and portfolios is the quality and the organization of them. The design of those things can tell you a lot about how a person approaches design. And I think of everything as a design exercise. So we're looking at the portfolio of work, the types of things that they've done, but also how they're composing that information, because that's what they're going to be doing for you. They're going to be composing designs, they're going to be composing letters, they're going to be composing a lot, and so you really look to that. Is it organized? Is it thoughtful? Is it well designed? As far as red flags go with reviewing resumes, we try not to make too many assumptions. You always want to meet the people and get to know them. Some people are better in person, some people are better on paper, and so that process of meeting with people and reviewing the resumes is super important. But I would say the one thing for everyone is you got to check your spelling. For us, collaboration is the key to the studio. It is a collaborative environment. We are a studio environment, and so that is the heart of what we do. And as I said before, during the pandemic that was really tested, but it made us understand in really, really certain terms the importance of maintaining a culture where there's open dialogues, open communication. And if you can have that, if you can keep people feeling confident and comfortable speaking to one another, you can get a lot out of the people and the designs that you're doing. Diversity is one of the most important things that we're looking for in the studio. That's diversity not just in the demographics of the studio, but in the people. You want diverse ideas. You want people that are thinking differently. And so if you're not prioritizing diversity, I don't know what you're doing. It's that important to doing creative things. I think the bit of advice that I wish I would have had right out of school, and I don't know if I would have listened to it, but the bit of advice I wish I would have had is be patient. The profession of architecture takes a lot of time to get good at it, and you have to have patience, you have to want to learn, and I think the eagerness and the rush can make people really anxious. And I know there were many times in my career where I was really anxious to get to the next step, and I always have to take a deep breath and go, we're going to get there. It just takes time. So I think the patience is really the advice that I always give to people right out of school. Have patience in what you're doing. So I think the discussion about work-life balance is a big one in the industry right now, certainly for younger employees, but I think it's a discussion we need to be having for employees at all levels. If you're not happy, if you're not enjoying what you're doing, why are we doing it? And so we work really hard in the studio to have an environment that provides that through smart scheduling, being responsive to people's needs, communicating clearly about deadlines and things like that. But we've also worked really hard to build a space that's enjoyable to be in. We've just built out a new office space in downtown LA. We put a lot of thought into the experience of being there, not just to work, but to enjoy being there, to be collaborative, and to have exciting things that people are engaged in. And so one of the unusual things that we did is we partnered with one of our clients to build a small cafe adjacent to us, and then we've just opened an art gallery where we're going to host events and have design, art, and architecture events all throughout the year. And so those are the kind of things we're trying to do to keep people engaged and to do something just a little bit different than others. The qualities that we look for in architects, it varies with experience, but the single thing that we always look for in everyone that we hire is tenacity. It takes a tenacious person to get things done in this industry. It's really hard to do anything. To do anything good is super hard, and to do those really special projects, it almost takes a miracle. So you want people that are tenacious and that are not going to give up, and they're going to get these things done.